Alright, so the last video of the night, I wanted to have some fun. So, we're going to be watching Majorkill's top 10 Warhammer 40k memes. Now, I expect Thin Your Paints to be on there. I expect, well, there's a lot of what I expect. I expect a lot of TTS. We're going to go ahead and get into this. Majorkill is always good. So, let's just get started.
Hey guys and gal, everyone loves memes. They're so versatile and there's a gag out there for everyone. From stupid memes about cats to dark epic memes about depression and suicide, no one is left out. Topics are also heavily memed and Warhammer is no exception. There's even a subreddit purely dedicated to Warhammer memes and my god, it is great. A lot of people even say my channel is nothing but memes, so it seemed appropriate that I pick out the top 10 best memes the community has to offer. Originally this video was going to be top 5 best and worst memes, but I kid you not, I could only find 2 or 3 really bad memes, and the rest were pretty funny, so I had to change it. Some of these memes are perpetrated by Games Workshop themselves, and others are just plain retarded, so using my extensive knowledge of Warhammer combined with my near problematic obsession with memes, we've come up with the best. Obviously, like all forms of art, memes are subjective, so I expect some people to disagree with this list. My sense of humour can be incredibly childish, so some of the things that make me go tee hee hee might make you cringe and punch the nearest child.
Everyone can be childish. It's fucking hilarious to be childish.
Before we get into it, and this is the last time you'll hear about it from me, but the official physical Majorkill Warhammer hentai calendar only has 24 hours left, or until they sell out, before it's gone forever. I know I said there was 100 left, but we sold those really quick, so I allowed for a few extra. The calendar contains 12 different Warhammer artworks from 12 different paid artists. The entire thing, all up, cost me $2,000 worth of commissioning, so you know it's good. To answer a question I've gotten a bit of, the calendars are ordered in bulk, an order that I have now just placed, so none of the calendars have been sent out yet, as I was gathering said orders.
Oh, would you
At the end of the 24 hours, the physical calendars will be gone, and the digital calendars will be on sale till the end of the month, in which then they will also go as well, so make sure you grab yours. Prices are in Australian, so it's cheap as. This meme list is an order from 10 being and 1 being god tier. Lots of these memes and more can be found on the Grimdank subreddit, so be sure to check that out for the laughs. Let's get into it. The first meme on this list is actually a lot worse than the 10th best meme. I'm not a fan of it at all, but it's important to address it. The Ultramarines being Smurfs. I get it.
Yeah.
Matt Ward got his grubby, biased neckbeard fingers deep into the buttholes of the Ultramarines and filled them with cheese. We got bad stories, silly rules, nonsense power scaling, and the worst of all, the end times.
Yeah.
Not that the end times is related to the Ultramarines, but it gives context to the man who was, for lack of a better term, a spud. To explain this meme, people weren't happy with the Ultramarines and all their ultra wank, so to demean them they began calling them Smurfs. Not because there was any significant correlation or references, it's just because they were blue and people are petty.
Yep.
It's a lazy meme, which is fine, until you see the damage it has done. Modern day Ultramarines get clapped regularly and have had years of rewrites by competent writers who have managed to make Gulliman and his sons once again relatable and enjoyable. The issue is that when new people come into the hobby and then they see the Ultramarines, they're like, nice man, those guys are pretty cool, I might give them a shot. And then all the salty neckbeards who look like Matt Ward despite hating him are like, haha, you like the Smurfs? Wow, you fucking shill, kill yourself. Obviously that's a bit of an exaggeration, but the point I'm trying to make here is that the meme was never that good in the first place, and was only relevant quite a decent time ago, so let's just let it die.
It was good for 5 minutes.
I'm not saying Ultramarines should be unmemed, I'm just saying that they need a better one.
It was good for around 5 to 10 minutes. And it was really funny. And then afterwards, everybody just used it outside of moderation. It just got silly. I drop it like once or twice a year.
Like imagine if the salamanders were in their position and everyone called them cabbage because they were green. Do you know how autistic people would think you were if you did that? Well, I mean you play Warhammer, but come on. This next meme is still in my shit books, but it's so iconic that it needs to be talked about. At number 9, did Magnus do anything wrong? You know a meme is shit when people take it seriously. Sure, if people were like, ha ha ha, Magnus did nothing wrong as a joke, then sure, good meme. But I've seen people getting genuine debates and getting their nerd rage boners on about this. Did Magnus have good intentions? Yes. Was he told time and time again that letting a tentacle hentai monster looking god tickle his big red nutsack was a bad idea? Yes. Was he forbidden from using some Dark Age voodoo? Yes. Did he ignore Lehman's request to parley before the attack on Prospero? Yes. Did he confuse his sons as to what was going on, change his mind, and betray the Emperor, then ask said tentacle hentai monster for salvation? Yes. There was a number of things that happened that were very wrong, and a number of things that Big Brain Magnus could have done to prevent said wrong things. Memes are designed to make us laugh. As soon as you are debating a meme, you know it's not good.
Yeah.
Getting away from the dark side of the memes, we have the darkest boys in the 8th best meme, the Salamanders and Vulcan being total bros, despite relishing in their use of war crime tier weaponry. Getting burnt to death is very unpleasant. Or so I've heard. I don't think too many people have offered their first-hand experience on it. Initially it seems like that they match the whole incineration vibe, until they are revealed as the most humane of all space marines. That's right, the big scary chocolate roid men who pleasure themselves to the screams of Aldari burning to death are the nicest guys you'll find, with Vulcan especially fond of giving hugs so nice and cuddly they'll put you in a wheelchair. I'm not sure if it was Games Workshop being ironic or them just realising that at least one Legion of Marines should be likeable, but they were either taking the piss or they were like, damn it, we forgot to have cuddly Marines. I know, or about the guys with the glowing red eyes that inflict death by fire. Overall, a solid feel-good meme that has slashes of delicious irony. Whilst the Ultramarine meme is a pretty lazy way to belittle a legion, the 7th best meme is the opposite. Calling the Space Wolves Furries is hilarious. This is because A, due to a mistranslation between the Fenrisian language and High Gothic, all of the Space Wolves naming conventions involve the word wolf, either by directly saying it or just insinuating it. Wolf Lord, Wolf King, Wolfen, Wolf Scout.
There's way into squigs. Too much.
Lone Wolves, Wolfguard, Wolfblade. They fight in packs, and the list just continues. On their wiki, the word wolf or wolves is referenced over 2,000 times.
God
But
damn.
Majorkill, it's their legion name. Obviously, it's gonna get referenced a lot.
Shut your stupid inbred mouth, Timmy, before I put you in a wolf suit and drop you off at Fenris. The Ultramarines wiki only has less than half that number for the word ultra. It's impressive that a single meme has dragged legendary space Vikings down into the cesspits of hell. Being considered a furry is worse than being considered a Nazi. To the one lady watching this video, if you had to your left a blonde guy who seemed nice but occasionally said some ooga booga about the return of the Fourth Reich, and then to your right you had a guy
Have mercy on that man. Jesus Christ.
who said he dressed up as a rabbit and fucks people in it. Who would you bang? Trick question, the answer is neither, but I'm sure you see the point I'm making here. Imagine if Lehman Russ came back as a werewolf instead of Space Odin. It would be the nail in the coffin for sure. Overall, a solid meme that Games Workshop hasn't done much to dissuade. On to number 6, we have a faction that seemed to be created purely for the memes, and it just kind of evolved from there. The Orcs, or more specifically, the Orcs' ability to manifest reality-bending physics if enough of them believe in something. I like the Orcs. They're a simple people who desire one thing: endless war and battle. Now in most circumstances this would make them out to be horrifically evil creatures, and whilst objectively yes they suck for anyone who isn't an Orc, actually they suck for Orcs as well, the reality is they don't ruin everyone's day out of malicious intent. They just see it as a big game and don't realise no one else wants to play. To compound on this malicious childlike mentality, if enough Orcs believe in something, it becomes real. Orcs believe red makes you go faster, so they paint their vehicles that colour. Blue makes you lucky, probably as a result of them watching what Matt Ward did to the Ultramarines. Yellow makes things more explosive, so they paint their rockets yellow, and so on. Whilst in canon, this collective psychic power has limits, and can't just be like, I believe I am now a god, so I'm now a god. The memes say otherwise, however, ranging from the meme that Yarrick is so overpowered for a human because the Orcs believe he's a legendary warrior, all the way to tech priests getting upset that they have to rub toasters together seductively to get an engine to turn on, whilst the mech boy can headbutt a piece of metal for an hour and turn it into an attack meme. No list would be complete without these boys, and their memes never fail to
This is surprisingly accurate.
make me crack a smile. Coming off the Orcs, we have the 5th best meme in Warhammer. The Mechanicus not knowing what the fuck is going on and just keep praying and throwing oil and shit, hoping he'll turn on and kill some bitches, or just, you know, increase the voltage to the car batteries they all have hooked up to their scrotums. Just like stereotypes, the best memes are the ones that are laced with truth, and whilst tech priests aren't totally retarded and create and build things, everything cool that comes out of them is because it was from the dark age of technology, or they discovered a blueprint, or they stole it from a Xena and pretended they made it to try and hide their own xenophobic hypocrisy, or it was made by Cole. Because of this, the way they often get cool stuff to work is by praying. Yes, the faction of the Imperium that replaces their bodies with metal, talks in binary, and should be totally logical and without superstition, rub sacred oil on technology to make it run better. Like, we give shit to the Orcs for painting stuff red to make it go faster, but at least they don't jizz on machine spirits to keep them happy. This meme seemed to originate from text-to-speech, like most Warhammer memes to be honest.
Stop.
When the Mechanicus installed the Emperor's text-to-speech device, they were paid in toasters that they could slide their mechanical slithery snakes in and climax to whenever they got the burning release of a ting! That last part was just added in by me, but I assume that's what would happen. I mean, that's what I would do if I was a religious cyborg. Overall, solid meme that I even immortalized in one of my calendar images for the Majorkill hentai calendar,
God.
so just another reason to pick one up. On to number 4. Gene stealers are supposed to be horrible, insidious creatures who infiltrate worlds, reproduce on them, and then welcome their star gods from the void, aka get eaten by Tyranids. So it's pretty funny to think about how they would even go about this. As each generation passes, the gene stealers become less subtle. They go from people who want to fuck a lot to spread their seed, to bold cunts with 4 arms. They often disguise their suddenly frantic worship of the star gods as the worship of the Emperor, except the statues they erect for him look a little bit suspicious. I can imagine a dude who's down on his luck and a partially mutated gene stealer approaches him for a shag. Sure, she has a weird bump on her head, and sure, her nails and teeth look kinda sharp, but a root's a root. It wouldn't surprise me if the gene stealer DNA actually was engineered to make you more fuckable. Like, imagine if a gene stealer arrives on a planet, but he's ugly as and can't reproduce. There goes your Tyranid invasion. The meme here is just the mental image of something that is horrifying on paper, but in practice could end up being quite silly, as it seems kinda obvious when gene stealers are a thing on your planet. Getting to the juicy end, at number 3, we have the Dark Angel's questionable status as a traitor legion. When I first heard about this meme, I clumped it in with the category of Ultramarines being Smurfs, aka shit memes. But then I looked into the Dark Angel's lore more, and by God, Games Workshop have done their best to make this meme a reality. The Dark Angels could have seemingly beaten Chaos, the Tyranids, and everyone in between by now if they stopped chasing the Fallen. They bombed Fenris, abandoned allies on multiple occasions, sent chapters into the Eye of Terror on suicide missions, bombed their own fortress monastery to cover up said suicide missions, killed an Inquisitor who found out the truth, and even considered killing the revived Gullyman when they thought that he might have found out about the Fallen, even though he wouldn't actually give 2 shits about it. They punished themselves so hard for something that wasn't even their fault. Like, the emos call themselves the Unforgiven. The damage they've done to themselves and the wider Imperium is 10 times more damage than the Fallen will ever do. This meme gets such a high spot on the list because it isn't an exaggeration or a joke on something, it's literally a completely canon thing that Games Workshop have come up with. From a meme standpoint, it's hilarious. From a canon standpoint, it's infuriating to see such a noble and powerful chapter act like total dumbasses all the time. Lucky number 2, we have the Tau's inability to melee. Now the Tau have a lot of memes. They have vaginas on their head. They have weeby Gundams. They are space Hindu communists. But I wanted to stick with one. Now the inability to melee might seem like a weak option, but it's a great metaphor for their overall meme status. In a galaxy 40,000 years in the future, where firepower is so overwhelming that anyone who pokes their head over a trench should instantly eat a nuke, the main form of combat is melee. The Tau are a bastion of what a future society would probably look like. Efficient energy-based weaponry, use of drones, and trying to avoid getting cut in half by jacked up roid men. So by Games Workshop making it so the Tau are the odd ones out by being the most realistic representation of a star-spanning empire, they are confirming and expressing how insanely ridiculous the 40k universe really is.
Yeah, it is. It's
another
fucking
indicator
silly.
that this is a good meme is the effort that goes into it. I've seen at least 3 animations for Tau melee that crack me up. I'll play 2 of them now for ya. These were made by Dragon Saint and the legendary Eliphas.
Stop. I love this one.
On to number 1, we... My god, it's Sly Marbo. The thing I really like about Warhammer memes is that some of the best ones were made by Games Workshop, and Sly's the peak example of that.
Yes.
Sly, Sylvester and Marbo, Rambo, is the epitome of a company having a bit of fun and the ultimate comeback to dickheads like Mr. Mohawk who jerk off to grim darkness with sandpaper. He's fun, he's silly, and his old model looks absolutely retarded, which actually serves to make it better overall. This man has single-handedly won wars, slain dozens of Chaos Astartes, massacred Tyranids for sport, and will likely be the guy who saves the Imperium. If anything, the stories of this guy are watered down. Described as incredibly mentally disturbed, this lone wolf memes his way through the enemies of the Imperium, kicking ass and taking heads. He's also seemingly immortal, as he's been around for a very long time. He's like what would happen if you combined Rambo with Chuck Norris and sprinkled in a little bit of John Wick, a recipe for success. And that does us for today, guys. A bit of a light-hearted look at Warhammer to kind of drive home a point I've been making, that the Warhammer setting isn't just about doom, gloom, and darkness. It's also full of funny and silly moments, characters, and themes. If you have some memes, then be sure to talk about them in the comments below and I'll give them a read for sure. As I said above, this is the last chance you have to get the Majorkill Warhammer Hentai calendar in a physical copy. I will not be reopening this for sale ever again. If you missed this, you can still get the digital version until the end of the month or go onto Patreon as a $10 per month supporter. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more memey content. Join the Discord for more laughs, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
So, I agree with all of them. I agree with all of them. I would have put iCast Fist from TTS. But that's just about it. That's just about it. Why are you mad? Are you mad because we're going to be done after this one? You want more? Well, too bad. I have to rest. Stop chewing my shirts. You little demon. Stop. Stop. I'll see you guys next time.